start, this is Kenny here from Property Stories. So recently, my friends and family, and also new acquaintances have approached me and asked this question. Kenny, I'm looking for a good property for my own stay. I'm looking for a good property for my investment. So how do you find some deals like this? I'm looking for a good deal. Okay, I heard property market, so I want to take advantage. I understand and I hear you. So today I'm going to share with you 6 tools that you can use to find these properties, whether it's on stay or investment. The first one is brickz. You need to know the past transaction price. Okay, so for this, brickz.my works very well. Brickz.my. This website has the latest 10 transacted price of the property that you are about to buy. Say, for example, you're about to buy condo A. Brickz.my will show you the last 10 transaction that is transacted, meaning that the deal already gone through, because Brickz obtained this data from the government, the Valuation Services Department, or JPPH. So they will show you, but without unit number. You can have the size though, so you can roughly gauge whether the property price that you have or offer that you are given, is it reasonable. They will also give you the median price of that said development, that is a condo. Or for example, if you want to buy a 2-story landed intermediate at Panda Bukit Raja, for example, Klang, they will also show you the size, the build up, how many stories. These are a few things they will show you, but they won't show you the unit number unless you register. Registration and subscription is also very cheap actually. If you don't want to use brickz.my, actually there's also other tools that is coming up, but brickz.my for me, is the most famous, easily recognizable, and also easy to use. So give it a try today. Next one will be the National Property Information Center. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, NAPIC, National Property Information Center. What does this tell you? These government services, they have all the free info. All the information are free. For example, what kind of information? Malaysia House Price Index. Is it property price going down? They will show you, is it going down? And they will show you some graph of overhangs, some data. Definitely there's a lot of data according to property type, like for example, how many new developments is coming in that area and how many current supplies they have at this moment for that specific property type. For example, service apartment, condo, double-story terrace house. This is all you can find in the data from NAPIC. It can be a bit confusing if you just look at the raw data, because you need to learn how to interpret. But every time NAPIC releases the report, whether it's quarterly reports or yearly wrap-up reports, you can be sure that the media will be covering them and giving you a summary definitely in infographic style, which is easier to read. So look out for that. Next one, of course, is the property portals themselves. Yes, I'm talking about the online advertising portals like iProperty and Property Guru, Edge Property, Prop Social. These are a few websites that you can go to. Personally, I would say just go to iProperty and Property Guru will be sufficient enough, because they are the largest property portals in this country. So what do you do when you go to this portal? This portal will tell you whether the property that you are about to buy, is it in demand? There's a lot of people that search, because you can see from the number of listings for sale and for rent. Okay, so and from there you can gauge if there is an investor centric property. You can see there's a lot of transaction, because maybe they have not reached a maturity point, or there's a lot of factors actually people want to sell, but at least you can gauge the sale for listing. See how many listings are there from these portals, how many listings for rent. The more units for rent, the more you can say, okay, that property maybe is more investor centric property, because a lot of units are for rent, the owners buy for investment. Okay, if lesser units for sale, you can conclude that maybe this neighborhood, a lot of them, they buy for own stay. So especially for condominiums, so it's best to actually browse these property portals as well. And if you see the property that you like, perhaps you can give the agents a call or WhatsApp and ask about the property. Like for example, people who are staying there, whether there's more own stay or investor. These are a few things that you can ask, but just start with browsing first. Okay, the next one will be social media. This is a phenomenon that we cannot ignore in this 21st century. Social media did not exist back then. So social media has come a long way and providing as a tools for research, even for properties. You know what you can do? You can actually join these community groups. For example, you want to target condo A for your own stay. Find a group of people. There's Facebook groups who are made up of community of own stay, or maybe the people who are live at that area. Join them. Then you can ask them about the place. For example, condo A is situated in Petaling Jaya. You can join Facebook groups of community of people in Petaling Jaya and ask them about the property. I'm sure some of them will be more than happy to give you and help you to answer your question. Okay. One more thing also, you can use a search bar. This is the search bar here on Facebook. Condo A, Petaling Jaya. See what comes up. Sometimes, actually most of the time, if there is any like project or nearby development, you can be sure the agents will advertise and you can find from there. Or anything like a complaint or review, this is the search bar you should use. Just type there condo A, Petaling Jaya, or just the name of the condo. You will be able to find a lot of things under these postings here in social media, especially Facebook. Instagram is not really useful when you want to research on properties, but it's useful if you have bought the property and looking for ID and design, because more picture centric Instagram. Next method that you can use is Google Maps. And why Google Maps? Google Maps can tell you the distance, right? So Google Maps is also useful if you would like to seek another mode of transportation, which is walking. Google Maps can tell you the distance and what is around that area, whether there are banks, there are shops, what kind of banks, even schools. If you have young children, you need schools, right, nearby. How far is the school to your place by driving, and how far is the nearest walking, if you are depending on public transport, nearest LRT, MRT station by walking. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Google Maps give you the feature to change from driving to walking. Just need to change the icon. So for example, next time if you were to buy a property and the agent tells you, "Sir, madam, this is walking distance to LRT. Which station?" Okay, so you ask how far it is. Let's just say 500 meters. You can actually verify with Google Maps. Please bear in mind, give room for inaccuracies on both sides. Okay. Last but not least, this method is also one of my favorite methods to research on a property, which is to go to online forums. What I mean by online forums, places like tauyat.net, Property Talk, Subforum, that is my favorite, because they have everything, especially if it's under con. They have the price, they have the layout, they have the pros and cons. People will be discussing about the property. So before you even buy, you can actually get a lot of info by reading the trade itself. And that's not all. You can actually, it's a one-stop service. You can get a mortgage. You can also get a renovation services. You can ask questions about management of the property, JMB, property managers. Look for agents if you want that sells the project to take you around and bring you to the showrooms, explain further to you. So this forms like about 90% of your research. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you use this 6 tool properly, you can form right up to, I would say, 90% of your research. The last 10% is the site visit. See whether you're comfortable at the place. You have short list, right? Then weekends you'll be going to look at the site itself. That's the last 10%. You will have called the agents, you have discussed and know your budget, everything, and then the last 10% is the site visit. That is the ideal scenario. So a lot of things nowadays you can actually do 90% of them online. You don't need to go to the site and see or call multiple agents just to verify piece and figures all together, because agent A will tell you story B, agent B will tell you story C. You get the picture, right? You need a piece like a jigsaw puzzle. Now you don't need. Most of them you can use online. Okay, so that's it from me today, and I hope that the tools that I shared with you help you in your property investing or property buying journey. This is Kenny Lee here from Property Stories. Bye bye.